Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to be, well, a revelation movie. It's going to have a lot of twists and turns, as well as surprises that'll change our view of the past 8 Star Wars movies. Now, what's really exciting about this film as well is that we do know that they're using a lot of prequel trilogy continuity, as well as original trilogy content, and even inserting the bits in between the sequels and the originals. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey traveling on her speeder toward a large structure that is said to be built into a large canyon that is said to be the home of her father's many years ago, that also served as a hideout and base. It's described that eventually Rey opens the large doors and makes her way into the basement where she discovers many ancient Sith and Jedi relics that he had collected over the years, where one of the scenes is said to include a moment in which Rey listens to an audio transmission of her father revealing who he once was and who he once worked for, Palpatine developing the clones and how he betrayed him. It said that it was Rey's father who gave Luke Skywalker a tip on where the Palpatine clones were hidden, and that Luke destroyed a handful of the clones and attempted to destroy each and every one of them. However, one remained where Palpatine used it as a trial run for eternal life but did not work right as the body rapidly decayed. It said that Rey's father betrayed Palpatine in this way, realizing that he was being manipulated with, and eventually saw through Palpatine's plan, and that Palpatine's plan before death when working with Rey's father warned him that he would be dying soon, and needs to live on to bring peace to the galaxy. So, let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Palpatine is the master puppeteer of the Skywalker saga, and we're going to see evidence of this once the film drops, since Palpatine is back in the flesh in a very unique way through the Dark Acolyte's body. But on top of all of that, the fact that Rey's father betrayed Palpatine in such a way by giving Luke Skywalker information on where the clones were hidden away on the world of Jakku during the Battle of Jakku speaks volumes and is yet another way of connecting all the characters in some way, shape, or form of how now Rey and Luke had a connection to a certain extent well before Rey even met Luke Skywalker. So what I like about this is that not only does this demonstrate, Palpatine's manipulation techniques by telling Rey's father, while Palpatine was still alive, that he is currently dying and that he will die very soon, and that he must live on to bring peace to the galaxy. And that's exactly where Palpatine and Rey's father came up with the plan to develop clones. And Rey's father played a large role in this until, during the Battle of Jakku, he actually decided to make a decision and really give Luke Skywalker a tip on where it was located. So, on top of all of this, we do know that Rey is going to be a very important figure in Episode 9. Her lineage, her identity, where she comes from, her parentage, you name it, is really going to be a vital piece of the storytelling for Episode 9. And you can only imagine, what Rey is thinking when she's listening to this audio transmission of her father, revealing that he betrayed Palpatine, the ultimate Sith Lord, who created Darth Vader in an actual extent here, that we do know that Episode 9 is going to really have a lot of dark elements like this and a lot of revelations. Even Yunus Watama, the man who portrays Chewbacca, while he was on set filming this movie, he said that this whole entire movie is I did not see this coming moment. That's how many reveals there are going to be in this film, which really does speak a lot, and it could very well indicate that this film is going to be the longest in the Skywalker saga, which honestly I think is a necessity at this point. So, the other thing that I do want to touch on here that really does interest me as well is how we do know that the spirit of Sidious is going to be a main role in the third act of Episode 9 in a certain extent. And the spirit of Sidious, like I've said before, is actually going to be called a Sith Wraith in Episode 9. It's actually going to be called Palpatine's Wraith, or, the Palpatine Sidious Spirit Wraith, whatever you want to call it. Now, what I like about this is that this is digging into Star Wars Legends. In Legends, yes, he was more or less just energy, where he wasn't really called a spirit or a wraith, he was just energy, that's all it was. That's what Palpatine called himself. Just energy and transferring his essence into a clone body. Now, in The Rise of Skywalker, they're changing it up, where he's going to be a Sith Wraith in Episode 9 entering the Dark Acolyte's body. Now, on top of all of this too, we do know that this film is going to have darker elements than that of Episode 3. That's one of the big plans by JJ, is to make this film have darker elements than Revenge of the Sith, which I think we got a little idea of that at the very end of the teaser trailer where we heard Palpatine's laughter. I gotta say, that was pretty dark, and it gives you a hint of where this is all gonna go at the very end of Episode 9, with the whole entire, use of resurrection and sacrifices and losses, you name it. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.